Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, place to discuss all things Usmnt y la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian. Join me once again, my co-host Tocayo. Adrian, was good, man.
Hey, what's up, dude? Middle of the week, ombligo de semana, as people would say. Yeah, and no, just that was a nice match, dude. It was a good match. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Um, and I want to say I told you so, bro.
Yeah, isn't it nice whenever it's a ombligo de la semana Wednesday, you have a football soccer match to watch and your team doesn't get shat on?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling when it's a decent performance. Hopefully, we see more of those decent performances for USA and Mexico in the Copa America, which starts in 8 days. But yeah, you're right. You did tell us you go back and watch the previous video, Usmnt vs Brazil preview. Adrian guessed it. You said 1-1, didn't you? Yeah. So
yes, sir. I
I don't
said
know
1-1. That was I had a feeling that Triple G was gonna watch our episode. He was gonna get motivated and come up with a brilliant strategy, dude.
And that he did, man. That he did. But it was a good match, Usmnt vs Brazil. Way better performance than the Colombia match for USA. We were discussing before this episode. Was that a fluke game? Was that a USA had a bad day at the pitch? Obviously, even the biggest teams, best teams in the world, have their off days. Was that an off day, or was that just that Colombia is that good? Obviously, Colombia is good. Obviously, I don't want any Colombianos attacking us in the comments again like they were before. The Colombia is good. They're contenders for the match or for the tournament. But was that really reflective, that 5-1, that scoreline of USMNT? I think USMNT had a much better day today. I think everybody would agree. And the final score reflects it. 1-1 against Brazil. Adrian, why don't you let us know how USA lined up?
So the lineup, cool. Not too many changes, right? Matt Turner on the goalie. Joe Scally started as the right back. Chris Richards, Tim Breen as the center backs, and then you have Anthony Robinson as the left back. Then we have Gioreyna, Yunus Musa, and Weston Mckennie. Tim Boya at the front with Ricardo Pepi instead of Balogun starting, and then Christian Pulisic. I think that the biggest changes we saw here is that Yunus Musa started ahead of Johnny Cardoso from last match, and then Ricardo Pepi, as I mentioned, ahead of Folarin Balogun, the gun.
Yeah, we thought Hajiwright was going to get the nod, but ultimately it was Pepi that got the nod. And we knew Cardoso was not going to be starting, but we thought Tyler Adams might have started in lieu of him. But overall, I mean, at the end of the day, Yunus Musa, who could have scored in the first 5 minutes with a rocket that hit the top of the top crossbar. Good performance from him.
Man. Mm-hmm.
But that was the lineup. Brazil lined up with a 4-2-3-1 with Allison in the back, Wendell left back, Danilo right back, Marquinhos and Beraldo in the center back, Gomez and Guimares in the midfield. Up front, you have Rodrigo on the left, Rafinha on the right, Lucas Paqueta in the middle, and playing as lone striker, Vinicius Jr. So probably more or less the squad we're going to see in Copa America for Brazil. Maybe minus one or two, three guys there that were kind of on the bench because they played against Mexico. But, we saw Endrick come in. We saw Martinelli come in, Nogles Luis. So pretty strong team here that Bolivar Jr. put up against USMNT. And again, the USMNT was able to hold on and get that 1-1 draw. Reaction time, I think USMNT, just like we blamed him in the first half for that goal, Matt Turner played a lot better this match. And other than playing out the back, which we know he still struggles with, I think he did a very, very solid job in shot stopping. Good performance from him, right?
Yeah, man, big time. I think this is the kind of Matt Turner that we want to see more often. It's a Matt Turner that has come in clutch for the USMNT when they needed him the most, and this wasn't the exception. He was very quick on his reactions on the one-on-ones. He was very solid in terms of holding until the very last second to make a decision on where to dive. It's unfortunate that he's not necessarily the best keeper with his feet. But then again, if he's going to keep up putting those performances and saving the team when needed the most, I think everyone can say that, hey, he is the best keeper at this specific level, right? This is the Matt Turner that we want to see more often. Hopefully he gets more play time at the club level. But hey, if this is going to get him fired up and get going for Copa America, by all means, then.
Yeah, came at a perfect time, the match before the Copa America starts, to get your confidence back up. Someone whose confidence probably didn't go up and had a very mediocre to, I didn't even say bad game. I want to say the strikers, man. Pepi he looked, lost. He didn't have any, I don't remember any chance for Pepi to score, any chance created by him. And Balogun came in and also looked, out of it. There was a chance when Balogun had it on the left side and tried to cut and just got the ball, taken from him. He and Pepi are going to be pretty, down on themselves for not really taking advantage of this opportunity here. And Hajiwright, I mean, might be the one that Triple G starts with. That's another topic, right? That Triple G wanted to use these two matches to kind of figure out who's going to be a striker, and I think he's still left with that question mark.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I think he hasn't found an answer. If you look at the 12 shots, 7 on target that the USMNT made, I don't think any of the strikers that played tonight actually made one of those shots. And if I'm mistaken, please let me know. But out from memory, I cannot recall them, making a shot or whatever. It was either Christian Pulisic, Yunus Musa, Brendan Aronson, Gioreyna. So
Same way, yeah.
yeah, Team Wea. So again, we continue to see this USMNT having a drought on goals from the strikers. Granted, and to be a little fair with them, their strategy, at least for this match, wasn't necessarily focused on providing them with a lot of balls. They were more on the pressing kind of defensive mode. If you look at especially on the first half, that's what I noticed the most. Triple G was essentially parking the bus, blocking every single avenue that Brazil could have taken. So I guess in terms of effort and helping the team, both of them did a very good job. But when it comes to being a striker, your number one priority is to score goals. So will this change? I am not too sure. Then again, it just goes to. I mean, this is also looking at it from a positive perspective, right? I think this goes to show that the USMNT doesn't really depend on a striker to make them feel or say present or say they are just make a I guess show up on the score. So they can rely on the wingers, they can rely on other field players. But yeah, if Triple G was looking for any answers on these two matches, I don't think he found them.
At least not for the striker problem. I think for this second match obviously against Brazil, um, his defense, Triple G's defense, looked a lot better. And the game plan, we crapped all over Triple G against Colombia. I think we couldn't, and we've had some listeners in the past whenever we give the flowers to Triple G and give credit to Triple G, saying, "Nah, he still needs to go." Blah blah. Yeah, I mean, we agree, but give credit where credit's due. He got the game plan right today, and as we were discussing during the match and right after it ended, he was forcing Brazil to play on the wings, something that Brazil isn't. It's not their strategy, their go-to strategy. We saw them against Mexico, how they, the first goal, especially how they carved up Mexico right through the center. The third goal where they just went through the center, passed it over the defenders, and had that open header for Endrick. Brazil has a direct approach. They go through the middle, and that's how they like to play. Here, Triple G was forcing them out wide, forcing Vinicius to go out wide, forcing Rafinha, Rodrigo, all of them to go out wide, and that provided opportunities and time for the defense to track back. And like you said, there was a good moments in the game where USA was playing, parking the bus. This gave them an opportunity to be defensively solid and track back and just mark their guys in the area and force those weak shots. We saw a lot of weak shots directly at Turner, shots on the floor. So I think that strategy worked, and playing on the counter, the USMNT looked dangerous.
They did. They did. I think they went toe for toe in terms of physicality, speed, pace, and everything else with the Brazilian team when doing the offensive transitions. Again, and I'm right there with you. I'm coming along to I am not so much of a fan of Triple G wagon nowadays, but today we just have to pay respect and say, hey man, he focused on making sure that Brazil was spending more time crossing than anything else, understanding that Brazil doesn't have any strong aerial threats when it comes to link up plays, right? They have strong threats when it comes to a set piece because you have Marquinhos, you have Eder Militao, you have other defenders that have height and they have good heading technique. But when it comes to looking at Rodrigo, Endrick, Viniciusjr, they're not known for being necessarily great at scoring goals on the air, unless it's like a crazy bicycle kick or whatever. But in this case, they were not going to defeat Chris Richards or Tim Breen on a cross from the sides. So yeah, today we have to shut up and say, Triple G, you find a way to neutralize Brazil, and let's keep on those good decisions coming, man. I mean, rely heavily on our guy BJ, because we know he's the brains of the operation.
Yeah, PJ Callahan, man, bring him back.
Yeah.
But now you mentioned Chris Richards and Tim Ream, and I think they look great compared to that match against Colombia, where they looked tired, slow, sluggish. Here, especially that one where they had given Chris Richards a yellow card, and then VAR overturned it. Toe poked it, played really, really well. I think the two center backs. Again, like we said, maybe not everybody played up to par. I think Gioreyna also had a quiet match. But other than that, man, I think Mckennie did well. Musa did well for the most part. The team. It's funny because Triple G after the Colombia match said, after the Colombia match, before the Brazil match, said, we're not chasing results, we're chasing performances. If we can get at least 8 or 9 of the players to be playing like an 8.5 out of 10, we'll be happy. Before the match, I was so pissed at that quote thing. Your job is to get results.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, 7 or 8 of these players played, at a rating of 7 or 8 tonight and played well. And now they need to take that experience and take it in the Copa America.
Yeah.
And good way to kind of end their preparation for the Copa America. So a solid result for them.
Agreed. I think if we got to put it on, in terms of grades, I would say like a B++ or A- would be a good grade for this match. I think everyone had a very decent approach, with the exception of the names that we just mentioned. And maybe it could be that they were not necessarily ready to play, or they were in the rhythm, so that bashing from Colombia helped them settle down and be like, all right, we now feel that we are, gelling. We're now getting back in track. That Colombia match was just maybe we were coming out of the bed, all sleepy and whatever, sluggish. And this is the true level that we're going to see. If that's the case, then listen, we're going to have a lot of videos until the final.
Hey, we might even see a Brazil versus Usmnt quarterfinal match.
Yep.
That would be
a good
one.
rematch. Yep.
But yeah, man, I think we both agree. Overall, man of the match, Matt Turner. Good performance for the Usmnt. And just a quick reminder here, Usmnt opens up against Bolivia on Sunday, June 23rd, while Brazil opens up against Costa Rica on Monday, June 24th. So Copa America, 8 days away. Stick it here at PPG. We're going to have coverage all over the tournament of Mexico, of the United States, and we're going to do a preview of each group, kind of talking about each team, what to expect, and so keep it here at PPG. Adrian, as we wrap up this episode, bro, where can listeners find us, dude?
They can always find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notifications. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast on. Last but not least, you can also find us on Instagram and TikTok if you want to, just get a quick laugh on a meme, get the news, the latest news on the Usmnt, El Tri, Liga MX, or MLS. Feel free to, give us a follow, and you will be in the loop.
Yeah, so be sure to follow us on TikTok or Instagram, and definitely here on YouTube. Give us a sub and a like if you enjoyed this video. Adrian, man, another good episode. Before we take off, a reminder, let us know in the comments what you thought of this Usmnt performance. Are you excited now, more so than that Colombia match ahead of Copa America? I think this kind of helped flip the script on a lot of Usmnt negativity the last couple of days. So good match for Usmnt, good result. Adrian, I'll see you in the next one, brother.
Always a pleasure.
Likewise.
Deuce.
See ya.